Okay, are we going to be live? Or is this going to be? Hey, there we go. I'm live. So today I have three medicines, but they're all in the same uh, category, basically. Citric acid, which is in all of them. Of course, it's in oranges. I'm doing orange citric acid, which is in grapefruit, lemon, and a bitter orange. Citric acid has dropsy, um, which is dropsy is fluid retention. Scurvy, of course, scurvy is when you don't get enough vitamin C. Rheumatism, hemorrhages, and all that kind of stuff is with just plain citric acid. And citric acid we get from a lot of these fruits. So citric acid has, like I said, dropsy's a 3, scurvy's a 3. So, when they were in the sea and that, and they didn't have, any proper fruits and vegetables and that, but when they started taking lemon, anything with citric acid in it, that scurvy went away. Now that dropsy is fluid retention, and also citric acid has chronic rheumatism and hemorrhoids. So those are the three things that you would consider with citric acid. Now I don't think I have this medicine. But anyways, citrus decumana. This is grapefruit. And that's a great thing about homeopathic medicine. We make medicine out of mainly everything. While once Hahnemann realized the basic principle, which was why are we able to cure malaria with cicona bark from a tree? Why is this working in a tincture form? So he started taking the tincture till he got overdosed and he started getting malaria symptoms. So he realized this was a great realization. Whatever will make you sick in a physical form, it'll cure in a homeopathic form. So, citric documana, tinnitus. So there's a little different stuff here with this. Head noises, that's a 3. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears. Sensation of pressure in temporal region. So a lot of ear, head stuff going on with grapefruit, citrus documana. That's why I'm doing 4 of them, because there's hardly anything to these medicines. They're not fully proven, basically. You know, um, some of the proving, such as the next one, which is citrus limon. The in the this one has a little more to it. This one doesn't have none of this, so it's not fully proven. In the observations with this plant, the expressed juice of the fruit, which is a lemon, has been used containing citric acid. Lemon juice and citric acid are traditional remedies for the prevention of sea scurvy. That their action is homeopathic has been proved by the occurrence of scurvy from the excessive use of the acid when taken for other purposes. Interesting. Has been proved by the occurrence of scurvy from the excessive use of the acid. Oh, okay, so to prevent scurvy, they were taking a lot of the acid, and basically, they would get they would prove when you prove something, you start getting the symptoms of it, and they were getting scurvy symptoms by overdosing on citric acid from the lemon. Citric limonum has been used for scorbutus, which is the gums and that receding and all that kind of stuff. Sore throats. It has relieved the pains of cancer. So for cancer pains. What about the tongue? Where was the cancer of the tongue? Oh, cancer of the tongue was citric acid. But any cancer pain, citrus limon could be one of the considered remedies. Checks the excessive menstruation, so good for menstrual stuff. It is used as a local application in 1 part citric acid to 8 parts water. Okay, so citrus limon, scurvy, scorbutus, like I said, gum stuff, sore throat, cancer pains, excessive menstruation, circulation. So very good for circulation and the blood. So it's very effective in blood situations. Now, this one's going pretty quick. Well, let's do this. Citrus Limon has a powerful effect on the circulation and on the blood itself, producing faintness, weak pulse, hemorrhages, and dropsies. Inflammation and painful enlargement of the spleen, so it's very good for the spleen. Dyspnea, which is not able to get enough oxygen, not able to catch their not able to breathe properly. And that could be from anything. That could be from a flu, a cold, a allergy, anything like that. Daily headache, stiffness in the joints. So there's the rheumatism, there's the headache, particularly in the fingers. So the fingers, when they're stiff, you would consider citrus limon. Bruised feeling, particularly in the feet, and herpetic eruptions, which we call basically cold sores of the mouth, but it can be anywhere. So this is it should be compared with acetic acid, not citric acid, but acetic acid, and the bruise pain in the joints recalls the action of its congener. So when they have this joint pains, ruta, belladonna, and lachesis would be considered along with citrus limon. As an antidote against stramonium, so stramonium is another remedy. Once you, if you took stramonium and overdid it with it, you would take citrus limon, and that will antidote it. It has been employed with, and that's the thing. To prove a medicine, to get some of these things, which we will look at with vulgaris, citrus vulgaris, they would take these medicines, just like they did. They were overdoing it with the limon, and they started getting scurvy symptoms. You would think, okay, you got enough citric acid, you got enough vitamin C in there, you shouldn't have that scurvy symptoms. But if you overdose on something, you tend to get the symptoms. And then that way we know what it's good for. But you can antidote it. So, like stramonium, if you were to prove stramonium, then, once you proved it, you got the symptoms, you wrote them all down, then you would take citric acid to antidote that. And that's the great thing about homeopathic remedy. We can do provings on humans, where allopaths, their chemicals that they use, they do it on animals, because they know it'll do harm, and they're just looking for how this thing will affect them molecularly, that sort of thing. And we are not looking for that so much molecular change in someone. We are looking for what the vital force, how the immunity or vital force rises up to fight what we put in. As an antidote against okay, it has been employed with great success, the juice of the fruit being administered by the teaspoonful. This now, if they took citrus limon and they overdosed on it and got some symptoms, then we would use aconite or asarum or datura is a hallucinogen, euphorbia, hepatis, and sepia to antidote it. Any one of those will antidote it. It antidotes aconite. It antidotes these ones: euphorbia, strammonia, snake bites, and all animal poisons. It'll antidote. It increases the curative effect of belladonna. So you have a person now with scarlatina. Is that the next one? Scarlatina. Well, yeah, it's the next one, scarlatina. So scarlatina, belladonna is real good for that scarlet fever. And that comes from what is that disease called? Strep throat. You have strep throat, you don't take care of it right, you get this scarlatina, which becomes a rash. So you got all these flu type of symptoms from the strep throat, and then as it goes on, you get this skin rash, which is called scarlatina. Now, if you belladonna is very good for that. How did Hahnemann know that? And this is where the next great realization of Hahnemann was. First, he realized that like cures like. Whatever will make you sick will also cure that sickness. And that come from taking cinchona bark and getting the malaria symptoms. Now, this one, there was scarlet fever. Yeah, I think it was scarlet fever going through the town, and the one girl was on belladonna, right? And she didn't get scarlet fever. Her whole family got it. He realized that belladonna that girl was taking was making her immune to the. So this is another one. The basic not anaphylaxis. Of what do they call that? A almost like a vaccine. I can't think of the word. A prophylactic. There it is. A prophylactic. So you give belladonna. You see, like measles. I got morbillinum, which is the measles nosode. It's made from the measles disease. You see measles coming into the town. When it gets close to you, you would want to consider maybe giving that nosode as a prophylactic, almost like a vaccine, to strengthen the immune system. So if it does come, you may get it, but you won't get as sick. But belladonna, you're giving belladonna, it's working, it's working, it's working, but it's not finishing the case. The person still has problems. You might want to, it says, it increases the curative effect of belladonna. So you can add citrus limon to the prescription to increase the effects of belladonna. Okay, Citrus vulgaris, which is bitter orange, for cancer pains, generally often effective. And as you can see, with a lot of these citrus medicines, they have cancer pains. It's good for, Now, most likely I wouldn't even have considered these, but yeah, they probably need some more proving because there's not a lot on these. Vulgaris has the most, as you can see. This is all Vulgaris, So, all right. So the tincture of the orange peel is used as a pleasant, bitter tonic in old school practice. So that's allopathic medicine, and we're using it as a tonic on sensitive individuals, probably for the spleen. I think this is good for the spleen. Sensitive individuals, oranges in any form produce pathogenic effects or disease effects. Boiled dried orange peel excites the intestines in a manner similar to other forms of cellulose or agar. So peristalsis, it helps the peristalsis, it helps you go to the bathroom. There's an increased flow of bile from the liver, which continues for hours. So this is very good for the liver. It unites both a calog, whatever, action with a mechanical stimulus to the peristalsis. That's what I said is going. It'll bring on. It'll reverse, I would imagine, constipation. An orange eaten before breakfast is said to destroy the craving for alcohol in alcoholics. So this could be considered as an alcoholic remedy, whether you eat it or whether you take the citrus vulgaris, which is the homeopathic remedy. One patient could never eat an orange without experience a fearful taste at the back of his nose and throat lasting many days and causing choking sensation and faintness. So this person was highly susceptible, and that's the whole thing. You can give a remedy to someone that's not susceptible to it and it doesn't do anything. Or you can give it to a hypersensitive. That's why Hahnemann went into the LMs, which was he added more water to it and it went deeper and it was more less harsh. So I always uh, it's like an LM's like a tap on the shoulder, like to the vital force or the immune system to rise up. Some of these other medicines, you give a high dose. Like I've been given a 1 m of arnica to my dad who had a stroke. That's like hitting him with a hammer. Bang, bang. You're trying to. So I'm thinking today, I've been giving him a 1 m. I'm thinking, you know what? I might try backing off because here's the other thing: the vibration of the medicine needs to match the vibration of the person's vital force. So it may be a different potency. Sometimes you go higher, sometimes you go lower. When you hit the right uh, vibration, then the body responds and clears up the symptoms. So I'm going to keep working on my dad. The problem he's having is he can understand us, but he can't find the words because his left side of his brain has been damaged by the stroke, and it was the whole side. So he's having a hard time finding words and being able to express himself, which must be quite frustrating. So I'm gonna, I keep looking to see if there's any other medicines that have that symptomology. But the main thing I'm doing is trying to repair the brain. The medicine won't do it. The body will rise up, repair the damage in the brain. It's good for diseases of the elderly. Well, let's get into this. Vulgaris, Citrus vulgaris, which is bitter orange. Peristalsis, it gets the bowels moving. Alcoholics, pain in kidney and bladder. So kidney, bladder, and I'm pretty sure it was the spleen somewhere. Maybe the spleen was one of the other ones. Neuralgia, shooting, gnawing pains, mainly in the temples, especially the right side. And that's where this right-sided hemicrania, which just means pain in the head. The hemicrania could be headache. It's just a pain in the right side of the head, in the temples, with this gnawing, shooting nerve pain, which is what neuralgia is. Skin itching in general, or more often in the upper limbs, on the arms and stuff, with redness and swelling of the hands. So that could be, this. Oh, and that's the other thing that Hahnemann realized, that swelling of the hands. There's a lot of skin stuff that when it's taken care of, not chemically, I'd say, uh, this pushes things inside. And that was the other revelation that he had. So he had the revelation of um, like cures like. Whatever will make you sick, it'll cure that sickness. That same substance homeopathically will cure that symptoms. The other one was I'm losing the word again, as a prophylactic. There it is. I'm thinking pathogenic, this and that. Prophylactic, which is, you got a disease coming through the town, you could always give an indicated remedy for that, or a nosode that you see, things coming that could help get people through this pathogen that's coming through. And then the third one is, a lady was had skin stuff. She wanted to get rid of it right away because she had to do a dance recital and wanted to look fine for it. So she took the doctors from the chemical doctors. She took their chemicals. It cleared up her skin, but now she has, I don't know, weeks, months later, she's sick. Something's going on internally, and that's what, when you have this swelling of the hands and these things and the skin eruptions, those usually can go hand in hand. It can go to the lungs, you can get asthma, different things. But when it's on the skin, that's a good sign because it's pushing things out. So what he did was, the lady came to him, he looked, he gave the indicated remedy. When he gave that indicated remedy, guess what? The skin symptoms popped out. So he realized, at that point, uh, taking care of a sickness in the wrong way, whether it's, with drugs or whatever, putting something on the skin, whatever it is, it pushes that disease inside. So he realized that's suppression. So even like vaccines, that's a suppression. You give that vaccine, there's a whole suppression and a whole thing that can be set up for sicknesses. I've taken all the vaccines when I was a kid. I really try, and I hear people. My sister said, "Oh, I got the flu shot. I got the other shot. I got to get the shingle shot." And she already had shingles. I got to get the other shot. I mean, that's a lot of shots. And yeah, I don't know. I took that COVID shot. Holy crap. I had COVID, and that shot, I felt worse off the shot than I did COVID. Now, COVID, I was sweating, I was chilled, I was tired, I had all that stuff. I took antimonium tarp so it didn't go down into my lungs, because I do have lung issues from, I'm set up, I don't know if it's from we always inherit stuff. So I've inherited some kind of a lung miasm, basically. And I had walking pneumonia when I was young, and that just brought that out more. So I always get these lung things, and I've got to find, I'm working on all kinds of other people, but I've got to sit down for me and figure out which one will push this miasm out of me. So you're set up with a miasm that, now you're susceptible to any, like me, I'm susceptible to flus and colds. Other people can be susceptible to asthma. Other people can be susceptible to joint pains. So once you take that skin stuff and you take care of it externally, you put something on it, you take a drug, now you get it, there's a suppression there, and it goes inside. Now you'll have joint problems, you'll have asthma problems, you'll have, whatever sicknesses. So when Hahnemann gave her that indicator remedy, this skin stuff came out. I I don't that right then. He told her, don't, you could put on like oatmeal or aloe vera or something to soothe it, but do not use anything like a cortisone or a drug or something to push that back in, because the body's pushing it out. Once it's gone, once it's out, now you'll be stronger and healthier and you won't have to go through that. So that's you get that swelling in the hands, skins got these redness and these itching on the upper arms, eruptions, and other symptoms like scarlatina. And like I said, it's like scarlatina, doesn't mean it has to be, but you basically being these medicines can help with uh, the belladonna, which most likely is what I would consider with scarlatina. But anyways, uh, these skin symptoms, if they're taken care of wrong, they will come in and become swelling of the hands and the joints and things like that. So, uh, Vulgaris is very good for the hands and the joints that are have rheumatic stuff. And there's a lot of other medicines. So basically, that's sort of the tough part with homeopathic medicine is you've got so many remedies. You go to what are they giving? They're giving my dad Tylenol. Now I thought Trump said, "Don't." Oh, the women don't take Tylenol. I don't know. He just told everybody, "Don't take Tylenol." Well, that's what they're giving my dad for pain in the hospital. And what's that other one? What is that other one? Hmm. Gabetin. Yeah, they're giving him Gabetin in that. So he's 90. He had a stroke, and he got crushed vertebrae and stuff. So, anyways, they're giving him those drugs for that pain and that. You you want to watch though, taking he's been taking a lot of that stuff for years, so it's at this point in his life it's not a problem, but he has a lot of stomach issues, and he takes a lot of ibuprofen, and I don't doubt that's where the stomach issues are coming from. So hopefully, I don't know if he's taking the ibuprofen anymore, but hopefully not. If not, then his stomach stuff may clear up, because they said it was blood in his stool, and then when I took him into the bathroom, his stool was black. Now, a day or two later, his stool was brown. It's that's a good sign. There's no blood. It went from black to brown. So whatever's going on, it's healing. Now I'm still gonna give him arnica. Arnica will, and it says right in there. Let's see if I can get that arnica. It's very good for any head injuries, any stroke injury, any kind of head injuries, basically. Let's see, where was that? Okay, robbery, head injury, victim. Oh, head injury or strokes that affect mental functions. That's that's clear as day for arnica for my dad's head. Stroke, mental functions are not working. He's not able to. He understands, but he can't. Well, I don't know how much he understands, but he can't express himself. So that's why I'm giving him arnica, and that's the great thing. There's a few other ones, Hyoscyamus, uh, Bar C. What is Bar C's name? Anyways, there's a few other ones that are for the stroke stuff. So, is one of the other ones going to be the next medicine I consider? I'm continuing with the arnica, and I got a call sometime tomorrow with the homeopaths from Europe. So when I get on that call, I'm going to say, hey, look, I want to ask a question. My dad had a stroke, left sided, can't speak. Any suggestions? And I'll get some suggestions. I got one earlier when I was on a call. And anyways, we'll see what happens. But, you know, it's always good to have someone else. They say don't take your own case and don't take someone close to his case, because you're too involved. It's why it's good to get a homeopath who's not involved, who can have an objective view of what's going on with them. So, all right. So, constant toothache, teeth become carious. Carious is um, the teeth are rotting, basically, and it says from sugar. All this sugar we eat, we wonder why we have tooth problems. uh, and the tooth wear off, the enamel's wearing off on a person. You would want to consider citrus vulgaris, and there's probably a few other ones. Mercury's a good one for the gums. That's scuburdic. Where is that? Gums. This must be it's the other one, Limon. Something seems to rise to the throat. So they're having like a heartburn thing. Feel like they're rising up to the throat and it chokes her. Fearful taste at back of nose and throat lasting for days and causing choking sensation and faintness. So, and that, anyways, there's a lot of throat, a lot of head, joint stuff, rheumatism, all kinds of things like that. So, let's see. Compare ruta again. Citrus limon, citric acid, citrus decumana. Oh, there it is. That is citrus decumana. Oh, that's grapefruit. So, all this is the citrus family. Tomorrow is clematis erecta. I think I'm gonna be done. I gotta do a bunch of things, get ready, get this board ready for tomorrow, pay the bills, go up and help my mom through some stuff. She just got a lot of things she's got to get together, and then go uh, be with my father for a while today. So, anyways, that is morning medicine. Tomorrow's is clematis erecta virgens bower. Oh, that's a plant. Uh, Hard and painfully swollen glands, a lot of glands with that one tomorrow. This is a bigger one. I think I might have this in my kits. And that's the thing, we got kits there's a few of them here. Clematis erecta, Clematis vita alba. Oh, that's a Bach flower remedy. So there's two clematises there. But that's an herb. And that's the great thing about homeopathy. We can use the herbs, we can use the fruits, we can use the vegetables, we can use the plants, we can use the minerals. They make it out of gold. Aurum metallicum is a great one for depression from loss of things. Ignatia, another depression remedy. So when you go in, you'll say, "Oh, I'm looking up depression." Someone has depression. You'd see Ignatia or metallicum, maybe aconite, and there's a few remedies. Now you have to take, and that's you go to the where the heck is it? I'm almost done here. You go to as I always show, you go to the repertory. And the repertory has emergency, feet, skin, all those categories. And then under the categories, feet, it has coldness. Now you're getting down a little bit further. Coldness, pregnancy during, veracium and lycopodium for that coldness of the feet during pregnancy. Right-sided is chelidonium, lycopodium, and sulfur. So yeah, you get down to categories, and then you get less remedies to have to consider. And as you consider these remedies, now that you looked into the repertory to find which medicines would be under whatever category you're looking at, whether it's the limbs and all this is the materia medica. This is, all these categories: abdomen, back, chest, ears, face, all that is in that repertory. And then when you get to the materia medica, like with Citrus vulgaris, it has face, head, skin. So the same thing corresponds. All these things correspond. Now all you have to do is match the medicine or the with the vital force. India in India they call it the prana. In China they call it the chi. We call it the immune system. The homeopath calls it the vital force. Well, I like that term because it's your vitality. When you have strong vitality, a disease comes around, you're not as effective as someone who has a lower vitality. Now that's where a lot of people didn't make it. There was a lot of deaths from COVID, but others who got COVID was okay because they had a strong vitality. So you want to watch taking drugs that, like antibiotics. You take an antibiotic and that fights the bacteria or whatever's going on with you, and your body, your vital force doesn't have to fight it. Now your vital force is weaker. It doesn't know how to recognize these diseases. So now they say, oh, this is a uh, I forget what they call them. The bacterias are becoming like monsters. No, your immune hasn't fought it, so you're not good at fighting off these diseases. So now people get sicker. So you want to take care of your vitality through eating, through exercise, through less stress through, and then when you do have a problem, that's where homeopathic medicine can come in. You can take some herbs as tonics for your liver, your spleen, your thing. There's a lot of good herbal medicines that are great for as a tonic for you. Can help you through some sicknesses too, like euphrasia is good for eye stuff. Anyways, uh, but then when you do get sick and you have a problem, homeopathic medicine works with the vital force. What that medicine I put in you, your body rises up to fight it and clears up your symptoms. And that's the whole idea. I'm giving my dad arnica. Oh, there's arnica here. It rises up and hopefully it says it's repairing the stroke. So, it can be a long recovery. Sometimes you can hit it and it's gone immediately. But when it's a chronic sort of situation like a stroke and that, this is going to take time. So, all right, that is morning medicine. You can age, but you don't have to get old, depending on how you treat yourself.